So this arch is extremely important to Southampton.
It led out onto the West Gate, which was the main quay outside here, and through here the armies of Henry V came on the way to Agincourt.
But when it was a spa town, you had a lot of people coming through, didn't you?
Absolutely. So Jane Austen came through here to take a boat ride. Earlier on, the Pilgrim Fathers came through here in 1620.
I think that's the amazing thing, to think that where there's now a road, that was water.
That was water, and it was water right up until the 20th century. And in the 1930s, they put a boom across the bay, they pumped out the water and created what we call the new docks.
But away from medieval celebrity, there was another side to Southampton.
So this is the less salubrious part of town, isn't it?
Yes, it used to be a wealthy part of town, but by the 19th century, when the painting was done, it had really become a slum dwelling. You had 8-9 families living in each one, with a standpipe outside. So at the beginning of the 19th century and 20th century, you still had outbreaks of cholera happening in this area.
This might have been one of the roughest, most undesirable parts of Southampton, but the life here, from the street urchins to the cut purses, proved irresistible to artists of the time. Plus, they wanted to make a record of how the city was, because that world was about to disappear.
Industrial revolution altered our townscapes beyond recognition. St Mary's Butts in Reading used to be an archery ground.
They always had the broad streets going into town because originally they were where they, as they herd the cattle up to markets, and it's with the carriages and the churning up of the old earth roads in effect that they started to tarmac them and eventually put pavements in for pedestrian safety. I love it in one of the paintings where there's a little child playing with a dog on the pavement. I mean, you wouldn't allow that now, but you know, how great to be able to sit out in the sun and play on the streets of Reading on the pavement.
So the paintings we've been looking at, far from being relics of the past, actually teach us how much our towns and cities have changed over the centuries. And if you want to see how that applies to your local area, you can visit the Your Paintings website.